Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am going to read from the Bible again today. Again, I'm going to start exactly where I left off, which we left off at where Cain kills Abel in chapter 4 of the Genesis. And I want to put up front before I start into this, there's a lot of names in here that are really hard to pronounce, so bear with me if I'm saying it wrong. Please just understand, and if you know the names, write out the pronunciation for me in the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Cain kills Abel. The man lay with his wife Eve, and she was going to have a child, and she gave birth to Cain. She said, I have given birth to a man without the Lord. Next, she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was the one who worked the ground. The day came when Cain brought a gift of fruit of the ground to the Lord. But Abel brought a gift of the firstborn of his flocks, of the fat parts. The Lord showed favor to Abel and his gift, but he had no respect for Cain and his gift, so Cain became very angry and his face became sad. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why are you looking down? Will not your face be happy if you do well? If you do not do well, sin is waiting to destroy you. Its desires to rule over you, but you must rule over it. Cain told this to his brother Abel, and when they were in the field, Cain stood up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? The Lord said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. Now you are cursed because of the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer give you its strength to you. You will always travel from place to place on earth. Then Cain said to the Lord, I am being punished more than I can take. See, this day you have made me go away from the land, and I will be hidden from your face. I will run away and move from the place to place, and whoever finds me will kill me. So the Lord said to him, whoever kills Cain will be punished by me 7 times worse. And the Lord put a mark on Cain, so that anyone who found him would not kill him. Then Cain went away from the face of the Lord and stayed in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain lay with his wife, and she was going to have a child, and she gave birth to Enoch. Cain built a city and gave it the name of Enoch and the name of his son. Now Irad was born to Enoch, and Irad became the father of Meulah. Meulah became the father of Methshuel, and Methshuel became the father of Lamech. Lamech took 2 wives for himself. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the other was Helah. Ada gave birth to Jubal. He was the father of those who live in tents and have cattle. His brother name was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the harp and the horn. Zillah gave birth to Tubal Cain, who made things from brass and iron. The sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives Ada and Zillah, listen to my voice, hear what I say, you wives of Lamech, for I have killed a man for hurting me, and a boy for hating me. If those who are Cain are punished 7 times worse, then those who are Lamech will be punished 77 times worse. And Adam lay with his wife again, and she gave birth to his son, and gave him the name Seth. For she said, God has let me have another son in the place of Abel. For Cain killed him, a son was born to Seth also, and he gave him the name Enosh. Then men began to call upon the name of the Lord. This is the book of the children of Adam and of their children's children. When God made man, he made him in the likeness of God. He made them male and female and brought good to men. And he gave them the name man when they years and died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. Seth lived 807 years after the birth of Enosh. He had other sons and daughters, so Seth lived 912 years and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. Enosh had lived 815 years after the birth of Kenan. He had other sons and daughters, so Enosh lived 905 years and he died. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. Kenan lived 840 years after the birth of Mahalalel. He had other sons and daughters. So Kenan lived 910 years and he died when Mahalalel had lived 65 years. He became the father of Jared. Mahalalel lived 830 years after the birth of Jared. He had other sons and daughters, so Mahalalel lived 895 years and he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enosh. Jared lived 800 years after the birth of Enosh. He had other sons and daughters, so Jared lived 962 years and he died. When Enosh had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. Enoch walked with God 300 years after the birth of Methuselah. He had other sons and daughters, so Enoch lived 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was seen no more, for God took him. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. Methuselah lived 782 years after the birth of Lamech. He had other sons and daughters, so Methuselah lived 962 years, and he died. When Lamech lived 182 years, he became the father of a son. He gave him the name Noah. He said, "This one will give us rest from our work, from the hard work of our hands, because the ground was cursed by the Lord." Lamech lived 595 years after the birth of Noah. He had other sons and daughters, so Lamech lived 777 years and he died. When Noah had lived 500 years, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. When men became many in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whoever they chose. Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not stay in man forever, for he is flesh, but yet he will live for 120 years. Very large men were on the earth in those days, and later also, when the sons of God lived with the daughters of men, who gave birth to their children. These were the powerful men of long ago, men of much strength. Then the Lord saw that the man was very sinful on the earth. Every plan and thought of the heart was sinful always. The Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth. He had sorrow in his heart. So the Lord said, "I will destroy man, whom I have made from the land, man and animals, things that move upon the earth, and birds and of the sky. For I am sorry that I have made them." But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. This is the story of Noah and his family. Noah was right with God. He was without blame in his time. Noah walked with God, and Noah became the father of the three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was sinful in the eyes of God. The earth was filled with people hurting each other. God looked at the earth and saw how sinful it was, for all who lived on the earth had become sinful in their ways. Then God said to Noah, "I have decided to make an end to all the people on the earth. They are the cause of very much trouble. See, I will destroy them as I destroy the earth. Make a large boat of gopher wood for yourself. Build a room in the boat and cover it inside and out with tar. This is how you are to make it. The boat is to be as long as 150 steps, as wide as 25 long steps, and 8 times taller than a man. Make a window for the boat that goes down a cubit from the roof. Put a door in the inside of the boat, and make it with first, second, and third floors. See, I will bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh under heaven. that has the breath of life. Everything on earth will be destroyed. But I will make my agreement with you. You will go into a large boat, you and your sons, and your wife and your wife's wives with you, and your wife and your sons' wives with you. You are to bring into the largest boat 2 of every kind of living thing of all flesh, to keep them alive with you. They will be male and female, 2 of all kinds of birds and animals, and everything that moves on the ground are to be kept with you to keep them alive. And take with you every kind of food that is eaten and stored. It will be food for you and for them. Noah did just what God told him to do. The flood. Then the Lord said to Noah, go into the boat, you, all your family, for I have seen that you are right and good at this time. Take with you 7 of every clean animal of each sex, 1 of each sex of the animals that are unclean, and take with you 7 of every kind of bird of the sky of each sex, to keep their kind alive over all the earth. In 7 days I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. I will destroy from the land every living thing that I have made. And Noah did all that the Lord told him to do. Noah was 600 years old when the flood of water came upon earth. Then Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives all went into the large boat because of the water of the flood. Clean animals and animals that were unclean, and birds and everything that moved on the ground went into the large boat with Noah. They went 2 by 2, male and female, just as God told Noah. After 7 days the water of the flood came upon the earth. In the year 600 of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, all the wells of water under the earth broke open. The windows of the heavens were open. The rain fell upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and his sons Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Noah's wife and all 3 wives of his sons, with them all went into the large boat. With them went every kind of animal and all the cattle and everything that moved on the earth and every kind of bird. They went into the large boat with Noah, 2 of every living thing, male and female of all flesh, when God has told Noah. Then the Lord shut him in. The flood came upon the earth for 40 days. The water got deeper and raised up the large boat so that it was lifted above the earth. The water was very deep upon the earth, and the boat stayed upon the top of the water. The water got higher and higher up upon the earth, until all the high mountains under heaven were covered. But the water went about 4 times taller than a man above the steps of the mountains. All flesh that moved on the earth was destroyed, birds and cattle and wild animals and every man. Everything that had the breath of life and lived on dry land died. God destroyed every living thing upon the land, from the man to the animals, from the things that moved upon the ground to the birds of the sky. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah was left, and that were with him in the large boat, and the water covered the earth for 150 days. Okay guys, I am gonna stop right here. On my next video, we're gonna pick up at the flood ends, chapter 8. I actually really loved reading that passage today, because we are in a part of our lifetimes where I feel like, since things are so publicized with the news, we kind of are seeing everything that we were probably blinded to from before. Things that we know are sinful, things that God would have never approved of. So